There's lots of new reports going around involving CM Punk, so we'll see what's being said there. We'll also check out the latest for Seth Rollins, the Judgment Day, and more. Starting things off with the latest developments for CM Punk's return promo on Raw. CM Punk was given the main event time slot for his first Raw appearance in nearly 10 years. It was a pretty incredible and hard to believe moment to see CM Punk making an entrance on WWE television. A lot of fans shared the same thought, that it didn't feel real at all, but it most definitely was real. One of the bigger reports about CM Punk's promo was that he unfortunately lost some time for his promo due to Randy Orton versus Dominic Mysterio going on for much longer than expected. So Punk was supposed to originally have way more time to touch on more things in great detail. But even with the shortened amount of time, it was still a solid promo from CM Punk that touched on a lot of different things. He said that he's been feeling more like himself ever since his return at Survivor Series. He also noted that he definitely feels like he's changed. Punk even quoted something that Dusty Rhodes once told him, saying that you could never go wrong if you speak from the heart, because it's the truth. CM Punk also called WWE his home and said that he was happy to be back. He was amazed that even after 10 years, the fans never forgot about him and always chanted his name in WWE arenas. CM Punk then revealed something that Paul Heyman once told him, that Punk would have to leave and then come back in order to get everything he needed out of WWE. And Punk said that Heyman was right. He pointed out that a lot of people were happy to see him and coming up to him backstage, some even asking how AJ Lee was doing. Punk said that AJ was fabulous and how she sent her regards, which the crowd did go crazy to hear about. He said that most people have welcomed him back, but not quite everybody. Punk even referenced his July 2011 promo by bringing up his belief that he was the best in the ring, on the microphone, and on commentary. And just a few seconds before the show faded to black, CM Punk told the camera that he wasn't here to make friends, he's here to make money. So he didn't have much time to work with due to this segment being shortened, but he still made the most out of the time. We haven't flat out seen who his first feud will be with, but there were certainly lots of hints sprinkled throughout the show. As everyone saw at Survivor Series, Seth Rollins made the biggest scene after CM Punk's return took place by repeatedly cursing Punk out. Well, just one night after that, Seth Rollins spoke in front of a live crowd and actually shared some thoughts on his actions at Survivor Series and CM Punk. Rollins said that he didn't want to waste any breath at all speaking on someone who has done nothing but try and rip WWE apart for the last 10 years, and how Punk was a hypocrite. And the next night after that on Raw, Seth Rollins echoed very similar statements. He refused to waste any time talking about Punk and mocked the fans chanting for Punk on Raw. Punk also appeared to have referenced Rollins during his promo when he said that not everyone was happy to see him. Sure, that could have been a reference to anyone, but Seth Rollins was the only individual to publicly display so much anger towards Punk. So that's why it felt like more of a direct reference to Rollins. New reports from Sports Illustrated also claim that two feuds that CM Punk is allegedly set for is one with Seth Rollins and one with Roman Reigns. Both of those feuds basically write themselves and make a lot of sense. Obviously, we're seeing everything that's slowly unfolding with CM Punk and Seth Rollins right now in current day. That would be an amazing foundation for a feud between them. Seth Rollins just doesn't like the fact that Punk trashed WWE for so long, only now to re-emerge in WWE. That doesn't sit right with Rollins, and that fact is fueling his hatred. Seth Rollins has also said in several interviews in years past that he hopes CM Punk never returned to WWE. So they have a lot to play off there for that feud. Similar situation with Roman Reigns. Roman hasn't had the greatest of things to say about CM Punk when he was asked about him over the last few years. So you have that foundation there. And also, the Paul Heyman dynamic will come back into play. We saw how much Roman didn't trust Paul Heyman during his feuds with Brock Lesnar, due to Heyman's detailed past with Brock Lesnar. Well, that exact same situation would be the case here with Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Punk and Heyman go way back with each other as well. Heyman spent a while managing CM Punk back in the early 2010s, while Roman was still a member of the Shield. So, will Heyman and Punk's deep connection and past cause Roman to grow suspicious of Heyman once again? That'll most likely be something that will come into play when we see Roman versus CM Punk. So, if you look at Punk's return promo, he seemed to have already referenced those two big future feuds. He called Paul Heyman the Wiseman, which is obviously the nickname that Roman Reigns has given Paul Heyman. And like we mentioned before, Punk has also called out people who weren't happy to see him. So in a way, Punk is also setting the foundation for his potential future meeting with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. The report also claims that CM Punk and Seth Rollins' feud will take place first, and then the feud with Roman Reigns will happen much down the line after that. So it's an explosive start for CM Punk's WWE return. Everyone's attention on Raw is understandably focused around CM Punk and Randy Orton right now, but we can't forget about the Judgment Day and everything that's still happening with them. Damian Priest took control of the Judgment Day and declared leadership of the group a few weeks before Survivor Series. And as the leader, his first big task was obviously planning a way to win the War Games match. And unfortunately for Damian Priest, every single part of his plan went terribly wrong. We see Damian Priest tell Drew McIntyre about their plan, and they gotta stick to it and they'll easily win. Well, they didn't come close at all. And another questionable thing Damian Priest planned for the War Games match was a Money in the Bank cash-in. With Randy being nowhere to be found and the Judgment Day being in control, it looks like Damian planned for Rhea Ripley to bring the contract out to ringside and he'll cash in on the War Games match. But Randy came out to stop the cash-in from happening. And you could argue that Damian Priest's cash-in plan was a very selfish, opportunist sort of agenda. Obviously, War Games is a team match where you gotta work together to win. But it looks like the only thing on Damian Priest's mind was how he could take advantage of this situation in order for him to cash in his Money in the Bank contract and sneakily become world champion in the middle of this entire battle. So it looks like that was the real hidden agenda for Damian Priest, and it didn't work. Not only did it not work, but Damian Priest was even pinned during War Games, costing the entire Judgment Day the matchup. We saw a backstage segment on Raw where Damian Priest did seem to acknowledge the fact that he costed the entire team the win at Survivor Series. And Rhea Ripley appeared to be cool, calm, and collected towards Damian Priest. But as soon as Priest went over the screen, fans noticed that she gave him a really dirty look in his direction once he left the room. So as expected, Rhea appears to be growing annoyed with Damian's recent antics, but appears to be gaslighting him into thinking everything is okay, until she probably comes up with a plan of her own. So keep an eye on the dynamic there between Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest as their leadership battle continues. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.